From a wee tyke, there was never a doubt I wanted to work with animals. There was no mystery in what I would do when I grew up. I watched the entire 100 episodes of the original All Creatures Great and Small. I read all the books. The moment that confirmed my life course happened watching the movie Born Free, and it was life-changing for me. There is a scene when Joy and George Adamson are sitting in front of the fireplace one evening with the young lions playing at their feet. That is what I wanted my life to look like. I wanted to communicate with other species. Last year in safari in Tanzania, I had a remarkable experience with a lone lion wandering the desert who came and laid at my feet, and it felt like the closing of the circle. But I didn't follow that course. The burning fire in my belly to see the world transferred my career path to the tourism industry. It took me to most continents in a whirlwind of travel, and 20 years later, I opened my own event production business, and it's been amazing and fulfilling. We became the in-house production and operations team for TED conferences and produced over 65 of those conferences over 18 years. As a director of TED, my business partner and I were the first people working with Chris Anderson and helped him create a strong global organization. And then there was change, or rather the catalyst for change. The moment arrived in 2012 when my business partner said she wanted out in 2 years. The business was all consuming, and that particular year had been really tough. I spent the next 3 weeks quietly focusing on the next step that would feed the mortgage and my lifestyle. And it came to me with great clarity that now was the time to circle back to what I was born to do, animal welfare and conservation. With no practical experience working in the field, my dream job came into crystal clear focus, and I charted my course on the horizon. Blessed with a vivid imagination, it became more real each year and informed my choices. I started reviewing attendee lists for each event I produced or attended to determine who was working in conservation and animal welfare, identifying and building a network, offering to assist them. In 2018, on the last day of the last conference I was producing as TED's director of events, I approached someone standing at one of our in-house cafes. I knew he was involved in animal welfare, and I began a conversation that resulted in him asking me 10 minutes later to join his board of directors. Save the Chimps is his sanctuary in Florida, which provides sanctuary to the largest collection of chimps in captivity. Most came from animal testing labs, but also the pet trade, entertainment, the Air Force, and the original NASA space program chimps. The mission of the organization aligns well with my own beliefs, allowing the chimps to retire without public visitation or scrutiny. The sanctuary relies 100% on donations, no gate fees for visitors, which effectively does change a sanctuary into a zoo. Our desire at Save the Chimps is to allow these wonderful creatures to live out their days with dignity in an environment that is dedicated solely to their needs and not compromised by commercial needs. Internationally, I was appointed to the advisory board of the International Anti-Poaching Foundation based in Zimbabwe. The mission of the organization is primarily to protect wildlife in Africa, and the patrol teams are comprised of women from local communities who otherwise would not have jobs or income. Many of them come from very difficult circumstances. It is life-giving to both these women and the wildlife they protect, and brings much needed income into their communities bordering the parks they patrol. I'm assisting them with strategic work in the development of the organization. Fostering animals for the SPCA is one of the aspects of my work at a local level. Changing the stigma around shelter animals is a large part of my reason for doing this work. For several years, I have been writing stories about the animals that I encounter on my travels, and I have started a blog page on Facebook. To be of service to all the other species, no matter how large or small, has always given me the greatest feeling of relevance. There is no greater honor for me, and to me that is true diversity. The journey back to my own essence has been like arriving home. I have always known my pole star, and now I'm working on simplifying my life, focusing on essentials, living in the moment, with no intent to focus attention away from the unrelenting devastation that COVID has had on so many people. I also recognize the pandemic has been a gift to the world in so many ways, a great leveler, a chance to reflect, reimagine, discard. It made everyone look at their work life and figure out how the when and how of it fits into their lives today, and to reestablish the rules of work. It's forced people to look at other options for earning a living. People today are bravely facing uncertainty and carving out opportunities that more closely align with work that feeds their souls as well as their bodies to push for a different way of life. I hope that for many people, it has given them a chance to believe they are capable of earning a living doing what they love to do. In my conversations with people over the past year, I'm reminded again and again, we are only limited by our imaginations. I've had the good fortune to mentor many people in my career, and when asked what decisions someone should make when facing a potential change, I always responded the same way. You can be an accountant that goes to work every day just waiting to get home to coach your kid's baseball game, or you can coach baseball for a living. And for the record, I love doing finance and budgets, so that's no slight to accountants. For me, the big shift was when I set my course on a new place on the horizon in 2012, and that informed everything I did from then to when I actually made the move 6 years later. I didn't waste that 6 years. It became a transition time to phase 3, answering my most important calling. Thank you.